Greetings, life forms, wherever you're receiving us. This is Justin.
And Matt.
And I'm Dan Bandana in the USA. My name is Landon Doan.
Is it a party in the USA?
Of course it's a party in the USA. We're the greatest country in the United States of America.
Welcome back, my friends. This is episode 67 of Nerd News Cafe.
Oh, wait. I gotta save my laugh for 2 more.
Yeah, you got 2 more episodes until that's hilarious. It is Sunday, October 15th. We are halfway to Halloween, and boy, am I excited.
For candy.
For candy, for spookiness. We decorated our yard this Friday. It was Friday the 13th, and I was like, I'm not waiting anymore. We're putting some spooky decorations out here.
That was your Thanksgiving tree lifting, date.
It was. I was thinking, so I was having a conversation with one of our listeners, actually. Jacques was asking me, when is it too early to put out Halloween decorations?
Never too early.
Because
it's never.
Apparently, he did his right after Labor Day, and I was like, might be a little early.
Nope.
No,
Nope.
I really feel like Halloween decorations are one of those decorations for holidays you can just leave up all year round. Who cares if it's May? Look how awesome your graveyard looks in your front yard.
Very true. Very true.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you do it slowly and you reserve to put out skulls like late.
Well, you can do fall decorations.
Exactly.
Like
you can
hay, pumpkins, corn stalks.
air quotes fall decorations.
And maybe you throw in some cobwebs.
Later. Like
Later.
You just start blowing the trees up like late September, just throwing some cobwebs in there.
But I mean, our yard is a graveyard. So with reaper skulls coming out of the ground, that's not very fall. That's specifically
you could cover those
Halloween.
in leaves, and then come October, you get the leaf blower out. Boom. Hello.
And blow all of my leaves into the yard, or into the road, like one
absolutely.
of our friendly neighbors up the street.
I love that guy.
Yeah.
I like that he doesn't wear a shirt still, and it's October.
Hell, let's get him on the podcast. That guy sounds like fun.
I'm going to tell you right now, this guy is so awesome. His Budweiser sign is brighter than his door light. Like when his garage is open, it's like Budweiser.
Yeah, it is a beacon for rednecks everywhere.
That's right.
So whenever the door is open, you're like, for some reason, I could really go for a bud or for a budski right now.
Every time I go past this house, I think about drinking.
Well, speaking of drinking, I think that'd be a good segue into drinking.
Nice.
I don't have anything alcoholic, but since I have something that I had last week, I'm drinking some apple cider to keep it nice and Halloween and
Keep it
fall
fall.
related. Yeah,
Very seasonal.
Matt, what is your fall related drink over there?
Well, it is red and black canned. Does that count? Huh? I don't know.
The spookiest colors.
My daughter decided an early riser is who I need to be.
Okay,
So I bought some. Did we decide if this was buy
it's bye.
or bay?
No, we learned during the Super
Bye.
Bowl.
That's
'cause
right.
It's
Bye.
by
Christopher Walken.
and
Oh
Justin
yeah,
Timberlake.
Walken always stepping in there.
It
and
ain't
Timberlake.
no lie.
Yeah.
So this is one of their versions of a energy drink. It's caffeinated. Cahola Cola.
Cola.
Cahola. Cahola Cola.
Do you have the cojones to drink the Cola?
Oh, I'm going to drink the Cahola Cola. That's not racist, right?
So is this an energy drink then?
I think it's supposed to, but I think it's
Okay.
like a Coke or something. It says caffeinated.
Last week went so well when you were having energy drinks. and-
Yeah, that's why I did it this year. Or this year. That tells you how we're going so far.
Just be sure to have the trank on standby, Jay.
I think so. We've got a sniper in the trees.
It's like a cheap Coke.
a cheap Coke.
It's like, when it's not Coke, what is it?
Oh, it's like a big
Cola.
K, big K
Big
cola.
K, the W Warm. I don't know. I don't know.
Substitute
Walmart is.
generic cola brand here.
I always like the different versions of Mountain Dew and every other brand. Mountain Mist was
Yeah,
one
those
I
are
saw.
good. And then also for Dr. Pepper, you
Oh,
can get
yeah.
things like Dr. Thunder.
Yeah, I was going to say you have to bring the Dr. Thunder.
Or Cola MD.
Sorry, little AC/DC. Landon, what are you drinking?
To stay with our fall-themed drinks, I am drinking regular ass Dunkin' Donuts coffee. And also
Ass Dunkin'
something
Donuts?
I grabbed out of the refrigerator that the girlfriend got, a sparkling ice. So
Sparkling ice.
it's orange mango flavored.
Those
I'll
things
let
are
you
usually
know how that goes.
those things are usually on sale at the grocery store because nobody buys them. So you
Well,
can
that
get
would
like
explain why my girlfriend got them. Then.
yeah, they're like 10 for $10.
I was going to say clearance of sale.
You can fill up the refrigerator for cheap with those things. They're like those skinny plastic bottles.
Oh, yeah.
That's exactly it. Yes. Mhm. And it's mango flavored.
I think that's going to be. You'll be fine. You're going to be all right. You're going to make it through this.
Yeah, you won't get the twitches at least for a couple hours.
The twitches are coming though.
They be
We're streaming on Twitch. Is that what I heard?
That's awesome. What game are we playing?
Oh, we're playing the deadliest game.
The game of life.
I was about to say, is Ice-T going to come in here and go, you need to get out? Because
we only have one life, no save points, so use it very carefully, guys.
Oh, so we're playing that failed sci-fi game.
Which one was that?
All of them.
Yeah, I was going to say out of the way. Let you dig yourself out of that one.
I can't remember the name of it. I'm so intelligent, but I can't remember names. So I think that hampers it. That keeps me below average. Keeps me with all of you.
You sound like somebody I would vote for president.
I'm just trying to tell you how it is.
I'm the smartest person. My brain is the biggest thingy in the world.
My freaking went like feminine and like another aspect of the culture.
Yeah, and we're going to try to just move along so we don't go.
Please do so.
Offending.
Yeah, I can't do any more Applebee impressions.
I think last week we lost all of our listeners in Southeast Asia.
Southeast Asia. We do. I want to welcome our new listeners from New Zealand.
Oh, good day, mate.
No.
Oh,
nope. Nope. Fly the Concords. It's Jermaine and
Brit.
His beard's real nice. The beard's good. Brit.
Man, now I want to go watch Flight of the Conchords.
I've seen it through all the way through at least twice and partial 3.
Yeah, I own season 1 soundtrack. That is still just such a fun show.
Well, speaking of Flight of the Conchords, I think it's business time. Let's get into the headlines.
That's right. Kind of sucks.
Hey, now.
All right, so I wanted to revisit a big subject last week. We were talking Star Wars Battlefront 2 beta, open beta, if you will. And one of the things we talked about was the loot boxes and how, for me, I felt like it was a straight ripoff of Overwatch loot boxes. Well, according to the article from Geek Tyrant following the beta, Electronic Arts and DICE have a ton of feedback to work through, but the chief among them are concerns around the loot boxes.
Chief.
Yeah. It wasn't anything like control mechanics, glitches, and bugs, system crashes. No, it was loot boxes. But apparently it's not necessarily that it's a ripoff of Overwatch. People were upset that these loot boxes use your rank to determine the tier of loot that you're going to receive from the loot boxes. So,
wait, seriously?
Yeah, the richer you are, the greater the loot you can acquire, meaning that those of us who do not those who do not spend so much in game are destined to be killed by the wealthy and their mighty weapons. That's a quote from the article.
That's basically the premise of the movies.
It's true.
I think they're sticking with the movie.
The haves versus the have-nots, if
right.
you will. So, but then DICE came out with a statement and stressing that the wealth makes little difference with loot crates. So it says, the beta was just a small piece of what we're making. Yes, there's more content, parentheses, that's what that is. New locations, heroes, modes, and the all-new single-player campaign, close parentheses. But we heard your feedback loud and clear after the first game. There is more player choice in multiplayer through a deeper progression system and an evolving event-driven live service that keeps the community together by moving away from Season Pass and having all-new gameplay content free for all Star Wars Battlefront 2 players. Rest assured, we're continuing to listen to you coming out of beta. We're taking a look at some of the most discussed topics from crates and progression to strike mode, which we're considering changing to the best of the three, or to best of 3. The specialist infiltration ability, which might be a little too overpowered, and more. So the thing is, going into this game, we had a really good feeling that it seemed like EA was really responding to all the concerns coming out of Battlefront 1, and it sounds like they're going to be listening to the feedback they got from the open beta. And why do you do an open beta unless it's to get feedback and adjust? So I still feel optimistic. I feel encouraged by this. I enjoyed playing the beta. I know, Landon, you felt a little bit nervous about it. It didn't make you feel as excited, but November 17th, we're all gonna. It's coming out. It's gonna hit us hard. We're gonna jump in. I'm excited. So, I guess.
And I want to echo something you said. And I never thought I'd say this. Good on EA, because it does seem like they're continuing to listen to the concerns of the community, particularly in this game. So good on them. But it's like, the loot crate thing. It's like I feel like this is becoming a pandemic in gaming, and it's like in some games it feels okay. Like Overwatch, I don't have a problem with the loot crate. Maybe that's where I was exposed to it first, so I ended as much. Plus, it just gives you like skins and stuff that doesn't really alter the game. But now it's like last week, Shadow of War was released, which was the sequel to Shadow of Mordor. It has loot crates. Now Battlefront 2, it has loot crates. And it really just feels like every game is ham-fisting these things. And it's like, I half to expect South Park The Fractured Butthole to have loot crates when it comes out next week. And even Kotaku has an article, and it calls out loot boxes are designed to exploit us. Mm-hmm. And it really does play on that gambling instinct every player has, because it's like, okay, for, just $2.99 of real life money, I have a chance to get that epic Mercy skin that is only available until the 1st of November. So it's like I like it, but at the same time I don't. I kind of feel like it's another argument of like day one DLC when a game launches. If it launched on day one, why don't you have it ready? But on the flip side, it wasn't. The only reason it got ready for day one DLC is because they have the money to pay for it. So I don't know.
Matt, how do you feel about loot crates in general?
If it's just skins, I don't care. I really don't care. To the point where I know everybody's got to wear werewolf costumes and have big shiny guns that have their name written on it, or maybe their best friend's name written on it. I don't really care. Now, if I can progress in things that, like, there's a gambling effort of, like, I don't know, gear or things that I could get that may take a little, like, I guess if I could get something faster than, like, just hustling, then yeah, I'm okay with it, but I'm not going to spend real money ever.
Yeah, and in Battlefront, it helps you to get your power-up cards. That's, like Loot Crate will distribute power-ups for your individual players and stuff. So it gives you, it unlocks abilities and things. So yeah, if you don't go spend money on the Loot Crates, you just have to wait to level up and get achievements and things.
And I'm okay with that.
And then you get the Loot Crates. But it's true. I mean, if you want to go spend money, you can get that stuff faster for sure.
I'm fine with rewards per distribution. So,
well, and I don't mind loot crates as long as the game gives you an in-game way to get these. Exactly. Yeah, you might have to work for them, and you won't get that instant gratification of dropping $50 in the PlayStation or the Xbox store and getting 100 crates to crack right there. But at the same time, you can still get this stuff in the crates just by working your way through the game. And I mentioned it earlier, reports of Shadow of War, that's exactly what this game does. Yeah, you can spend real-life money, but if you just play the dadgum game, you'll eventually get to the point where you can use in-game currency to unlock these things. So I'm okay with that.
Or buy Tostino's pizzas.
Right.
Exactly.
But, I was thinking about, and I've brought it up a couple times on the show, Garden Warfare 2, uses a system where you get points for doing multiplayer or campaign, and then you can buy what they call sticker packs. And the things that it unlocks is a lot more about customizing your character, and it doesn't necessarily give you new abilities, but it does give you, like, you can get new abilities from it, but it really unlocks, you get the new abilities from leveling up more than you do from the sticker packs. The sticker packs give you different skins for your characters, different skins for your weapons, that sort of thing, and unlock different versions of the characters too. So I think that's cool because you can still compete with everybody. It's not like all of a sudden if you get no sticker packs, you don't have the abilities you need to win. You know what I mean? So
no, I'm with you on that. I understand the customizing ability to characters because, yeah, okay, I'm tired of looking like everybody else. If I spend $3 in this game, then I can look like, Rufio from freaking Peter Pan. And that's, that's cool. That's your choice. There's nothing making you do that. There's nothing pushing you that direction. And on top of that, not everybody's going to want to be Rufio, so you can be Rufio.
Yeah.
And Matt did just confirm a big piece of news. Rufio is confirmed for Battlefield 2.
That's right. But
it's that Disney synergy tie-in.
There is a problem. I will say this with the character: when you go into battle, you scream Rufio. Usually, you don't make it to the last O because you're shot because that's very loud.
It's like, dude, shut up.
Shut up. He's crap.
Yeah, don't use Rufio for the sniper class for sure.
Nope.
But I mean, he is OP in melee range. So
right.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of a guy who's OP in melee range, the Gambit movie has a release date, guys, and it's coming out February 14th of 2019 Mark your calendars, and get ready. Plan a romantic Valentine's evening to go out to a fancy dinner and then
Jupiter
go see
Ascending to
Gambit.
Hey, you know what? It worked for Deadpool.
It's true.
True. Yeah.
Deadpool was a great Valentine's movie, I'll say. I don't get the feeling that Gambit's going to have the same kind of appeal. I mean, for the ladies, you've got Channing Tatum. I guess that's the thing. So convince your ladies, hey, it's Channing Tatum. Go see this superhero movie with
me. If
me.
he takes his shirt off or he dances, pretty much you've sold the movie to that crowd.
So far, we've heard a little bit about the plot, but one thing that we were talking about earlier was that Daniel Craig has been rumored to be up for the role of Mr. Sinister in the movie. Yeah, which is pretty interesting. I didn't realize that.
I'm all about that.
Yeah. More Daniel Craig.
More Daniel Craig.
That would be a pretty good casting of Mr. Sinister. And I mean, just that right there, those two names, Channing Tatum, Daniel Craig at the top of your bill, directed by Gore Verbinski. I mean, like, just name recognition alone in Hollywood, this is going to be a big movie.
Now, he did the Pirates of the Caribbean, but he did the first one?
Well, and I mean, he did do the first three, and according to Wikipedia, his movies have grossed $3.72 billion worldwide,
nice.
making him one of the highest-grossing film directors in the world. So
That's interesting.
And he was born in Oak Ridge, Tennessee. What's up,
How about that?
VOLS, go Vols, go.
He's
Hashtag VFL.
He's got 11
Hashtag
toes, but
Jones.
he is ready to direct.
So, I don't know. It's enough to be excited about. You know, I'll be interested to see what the trailer looks like when we get our first teaser for that one.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a big make or break moment for this movie. Not necessarily, everybody, but we asked the question last week on this podcast, do we really need a Gambit standalone movie?
Yeah, we did. And I'm still... That's kind of why I'm saying I want to see the trailer for this one because I really am in the I don't know if I'd be super excited to see it camp. I think Gore Verbinski gives me some hope because, like you said, I like the Pirates movies. And
they were fun.
I mean, he's demonstrated that he knows how to make a blockbuster for sure. So that gives me a little bit of hope. But speaking of trailers, this is Segway City, by the way. Segway all day.
City.
Hashtag Segway all day. I don't know if y'all saw this, but for those crossover football / Star Wars fans, which that's an interesting Venn diagram, but I am in there.
Yes, as am I. Hands up, nerds that like sports. Though to be fair, sports fans are nerds. They just don't realize it.
Yeah, it's true, especially if they're really into stats. But anyway, they did premiere the newest, and I guess the final Last Jedi trailer during Sunday Night Football this past week. And I didn't.
It was Monday Night Football.
Oh, was it Monday? Okay, it was Monday Night Football.
Bears and Vikings.
You're right, it was.
Yeah, clearly you're a sports fan, Jay. How dare you not watch that barn burner of Mitchell Trubisky versus
Hey,
the Minnesota Vikings? It was 3-2 at halftime.
Would you rather watch Gannon in there?
You know what? I'd rather watch actual football as opposed to whatever the hell that was for a half of it.
So, as I mentioned, during Monday Night Football, they did premiere the new Last Jedi trailer. I said I wasn't going to watch it, but I caved because I do feel a bit of a responsibility to at least get some eyes on these things because we do have a nerd podcast where we talk about nerd news, and I feel like I need to be in the know. So, especially
is that what we do here?
That's what we try to do. Although sometimes we have rants about football. So then I decided to do it. I watched it, and I got to tell you. The one thing going into it, and I think I said it on the podcast, just please hold off on the Porgs. They at least put one big one right in the middle of it.
Your favorite
right
scene?
In my face. Yeah. So, of course, I was going to jump on the Twitter and react right away after I'd watched it, but I decided to hold off because the only thing I wanted to say was just watch the Last Jedi trailer. Porgs. But I held off, and then there was an article that came out on comicbook.com by Joseph Schmidt, and essentially Ryan Johnson has felt the need to speak out about these Porgs because there has been backlash. I'm not the only one. I mean, some people are pretty excited about it, and yeah, I'm not going to tell you they're not cute. They're cute, but I don't need cutesy in my Star Wars. But as I said, I'm not the only one. So basically, Ryan Johnson, in an interview with Yahoo, He said that, first of all, he was inspired to create these guys when he was scouting the islands of Skellig Michael in Ireland, where he encountered puffins that inhabit the area. So he said, "Oh, this is part of the island. We need to find the Star Wars version of this." Right. And then he said,
He was inspired by the money it would bring in from kids.
Exactly.
I was going to say he was inspired by Furby sales.
Yep.
Bingo.
Yeah. And then he said, and this is the line that really concerns me, and then just story-wise, not that they play a big part in the story, but I knew I wanted to find any source of comic relief I could on the island, and so they were very useful in terms of that.
Oh, God.
So I read that as they're going to play a big part of the story.
So
And they're going to be stepping in poop and farting.
Well, I was thinking, do you think our theory of them of Luke throwing porgs at Rey and her cutting them in half with her lightsaber is still
with her blast shield down, she can't see them. Throw the porgs at her, slice them in half.
I think that it could still be there.
I would love it if that's the direction we go, but I have a feeling that it's going to be a lot more like, oh, look at these cute little things. Let's bring in the kitties to buy the stuffed animals and plushes and all that stuff.
So, do you think in the evolution of all our sayings and everything, it'll be like herding porgs?
Herding porgs. This movie could be like herding porg. I don't want to be worried, but I'm so freaking worried. I just feel like if they're in there and really it is just a couple little cutesy, like humorous moments, fine. But if they have some kind of critical thing that they do, that basically if it wasn't for them, like Rey would have crashed the Millennium Falcon into a Starbucks or something, then...
Would you be okay if like they had to use one of the porgs in the Millennium Falcon as like a capacitor or something? Like they just plugged it in?
No, I wouldn't like that either. They need to serve no purpose.
No purpose.
Other than just being there in the background. Like, I really enjoy things like in the cantina
You're
scene.
really breaking down over this. I don't think I've ever seen you this distraught.
I am stressed. But, like, you think about Star Wars, one of the things it's always done is you always get your, kind of like Fast and Furious has its PG-13 Girls Gone Wild scenes. Star Wars likes to have its random gallery of aliens kind of scenes.
Oh, yeah.
Like the cantina in A New Hope. I don't mind bringing in new things, and even sometimes they're funny, sometimes they're silly, sometimes they're kind of scary, and that's fine, but I don't want it to be a plot device, and I don't want it to be featured. That
would have been like in the latest movie when you go to Maz's. It's like, oh, look at that weird-looking thing in the corner. Well, guess what? The movie's about him from here on out.
And now we're riding with him.
That's right. Yep. How did we get in his car? Where are we going?
I do have to give you some credit, Jay, because you were the first person that I know that was kind of like, man, these pork things are kind of raising red flags, and it seems like the internet is slowly getting on board on that bus that you're driving.
He's like the Alex Ross of Star Wars. Look at them porgs.
So, guys, I don't know if you can talk me off a ledge out there. Please do it.
You're still going to see it, though.
I know I'm going to see it, but I'm going to be like
my money.
Anxious and nervous about it until the day it comes out. And I don't want to feel that way.
Especially about this Star Wars movie. But then again, the last trilogy we got gave us plenty of reason to be worried. So
yeah. Well, let's talk about movies that are a little spookier and maybe not so silly.
That keep us worried?
That keep us feeling anxious and nervous on purpose.
There's your segue.
This was an article on IGN.com talking about the new Halloween movie sequel, and essentially, John Carpenter has revealed that this new sequel, which will have Jamie Lee Curtis back as Laurie Strode, it's going to basically reboot the series from the sense that it's jumping off from the first one, and it's going to ignore all of the sequels that we've had since then.
I was wondering how they were going to explain the canonical death of Busta Rhymes.
Right? Nope, he's still alive in this world. Forget that.
Oh, thank God. So we can go see what he's doing.
Yeah.
So we had the Kelvin universe in Star Trek. What would we name this one?
I don't know.
The Myers? The Muddied Myers?
I don't know,
the
man.
Curtis effect?
Yeah, the Curtis effect. Maybe the
want to
Curtis.
have
Because she died, right?
Yeah. I can't remember which one, though.
Halloween Resurrection, she died.
Oh, okay.
So
Sure.
they wanted to bring her back.
Isn't that when we killed Buster Rhymes, too?
That was H2O.
No, that was H2O.
Oh gosh, I get those confused.
Yeah. But Carpenter explained basically this movie is going to be like an alternate reality in that it picks up after the first one and pretends that none of the other sequels were made. It's going to be fun. There's a really talented director, and it was well written. So and he's not directing. He's just executive producing, and he's a creative consultant. But he is around. So, I mean, I like that John Carpenter's involved. That makes me feel good about it. And this one's coming out next October 19th. So a year from... This episode drops on the 17th, so Thursday, a year from Thursday. Next Thursday.
So you can celebrate listening to Stir It Up again next year on your way to go see Halloween.
Well, they know when to start their countdowns. You know, their online countdown they get going.
Yeah, we're going to start it. We're going to start it, and we're going to go watch this because it comes out next year too, right? Or is that is that 2019? I can't remember.
And also, let us be the first to wish you a Merry Christmas in the year 2018.
There you go. Merry Christmas 2018. Anyway, that'll be fun. We got a trailer for the New Mutants, guys, and we just watched it. We just watched it before this episode, and wow, that was creepy. Yeah, that took a turn.
Yeah, that escalated very quickly. I'm stunned that this is a Marvel property that they're putting in the X-Men universe, because just watching this trailer, I would not have guessed X-Men in 1,000 years if you just took out the word mutant. Mutant is thrown around a handful of times because it is called the New Mutants. But if you eliminated that line, I'd have been like, okay, this is a new horror property with Maisie Williams from Game of Thrones and the older brother from Stranger Things.
Mm-hmm. And it says, and really, I mean, we're reading an article from comicbook.com, and it says New Mutants could begin a trilogy of X-Men horror movies. And apparently they brought it to Fox with the proposition that it would be a trilogy based on the long run from the 80s, the issues from the 80s of the New Mutants. And it says they're all going to be horror movies with their own distinct kind of feel to them. So
weird. It is disconcerting to see like mutants in a horror movie. I agree, Lennon. It's just weird.
But at the same time, it's like I kind of like the fact that Fox, it seems like, is taking these big artistic swings opposed to Marvel Cinematic Studios, who is just kind of playing it safe, you know, doing comic book movie. On the other hand, Fox, I mean, look at Deadpool, look at Logan, and New Mutants feels like it's another step in that direction of trying different things with, at this point, a genre, comic book movies, that has been going for successfully for over 2 decades at this point.
That's pretty cool. I didn't put all those together. Yeah, they are the out of the box. If they could just get the X-Men aligned.
Hey, who knows? Maybe this'll continue getting their X-Men universe aligned.
That would be cool. I would be interested to see what that next step would be to do the X-Men.
And plus, I just thought of this: we could get a Game of Thrones reunion because Sansa is Jean Grey and Maisie Williams is some character. So we could get a Sansa Arya reunion again.
Insert character name.
Oh my God! I just figured it out. Game of Thrones happens in the Marvel X-Men universe.
Maybe it's the aftermath after the
that
mutants
is how
have
winter
destroyed
comes.
it.
Iceman goes rogue.
Interesting word choice.
Terrible.
Yeah. I'm pretty excited about it. I mean, you know, one of the things that I've heard people saying too is we are kind of getting to the point where are some people starting to feel some superhero kind of fatigue? Mm-hmm. You know,
I've heard that a lot.
And
absolutely, I do think there is a lot of that going around.
So really, this gives a whole new kind of a feel to it and a new reason to go. Like it's not just going to be your same old. It's a whole new experience. So we were talking about Gambit bringing the ladies to the Marvel movies. And this will bring maybe some horror nerds to the Marvel movies if they weren't already.
Yeah, that's true. That's a new ground to break for them, at least for fanship. Absolutely,
because at this point, I mean, you're either invested in these comic book movies or you're not. I feel like, and going after a new untapped audience, that's going to bring in a new set of eyeballs and also new wallets.
Yeah.
That's the alternate name for this movie.
New wallets. New bank account.
Yeah. We're diving into new bank accounts with this one. I probably should have put this after the Halloween reboot, but I wanted to stay with horror.
I had a good segue.
Oh, okay. What is it?
In Landon's alternate reality, speaking of...
Yes. And speaking of people that coming back to roles that they haven't done in a while, Bill and Ted 3's official title has been revealed. It will be Bill and Ted Face the Music, and Keanu Reeves is coming back, my friends.
Butt Rock is dead.
Yes.
That was the...
Excellent. Right? So there's a little bit of a quote that kind of talks about the plot here, and it says, it's a cautionary tale. They're supposed to save the world, but when we see them, they haven't saved the world, and they're married and have kids. And they're playing to nobody, but they have to write the song and face the music. Hopefully, we'll make it before I'm 60. That was just talking about the movie production. So, yeah, well, hopefully before Bill and Ted are 60 too.
No crap.
And we're getting there. So,
that one dude was in Lost Boys too. I wonder if he's still a vampire.
He could be. Maybe that's why maybe he's still got his youth.
His youth.
From his demonic vampire blood.
He's definitely one of those guys when you see one of those clickbait articles, see him now. I'm like, yeah, I want to see him now. Because I don't even know what that guy looks like anymore.
Excellent Adventure came out in '89. And
wow, has it really been that long?
Yeah, that hurt.
Yeah.
I remember us seeing that in theaters. Wow.
Oh, God.
We definitely saw Bogus Journey in theaters. I remember going...
That's right. Yeah, we saw Bogus Journey because you slammed my my hand in a car door immediately before we saw that movie.
Nice.
God,
yes,
man.
I did have ice.
Yeah.
He needed it.
Yeah. How much for a cup of ice? Oh, it's $5.45. For a cup of ice?
No, this was in the early 90s. It was only $2.50.
$2.50. There you go.
Well, so I was just thinking, so we're coming up on 30 years, the 30-year anniversary of Bill and Ted.
Wow.
So that's pretty crazy to think about.
Yeah, but George Carlin's dead.
Right, I was going to say, it's going to be sad because George Carlin's dead.
But is he?
They...
Grand Moff Tarkin time.
Right. As we know, they could bring him back.
CD George Carlin, everybody. He's coming.
I don't think that I'd want it anyway because I don't know number one, what actor would you get to be George Carlin so they could do face overlay?
I'll be George Carlin. I'll be.
I was going to say, for a paycheck, I'll be anybody.
I'll be your George Carlin.
Yeah.
You want me to be Marissa Tomei for the right price? I will be.
I will mark that down.
So, did they end up? Help me remember. Did they end up with the princesses?
Yes.
Like so this is going to be like them having kids with the princesses, probably.
Yes. But you remember I know I say that like it was yesterday. At the end of Bogus, they come back to save the day in the Battle of the Bands, and they're like long bearded. They've got kids on their back, and they're playing like they play the Battle of the Bands and win. And they got that weird thing that they went in having, that lip glop thing or whatever. People love that
Station?
character. Station. That's his name.
Station.
People have tattoos of that. Look it up. Google Station tattoos. There are thousands of them.
In the words of Bill and Ted, be excellent to each other.
Exactly. There's several tattoos, Bill and Ted tattoos, with that quote on there. Be excellent to each other. That is a good philosophy to live by, though. We need
especially
more,
these days.
We honestly need more of that in the world.
Maybe that's what they're trying to recapture with this movie.
Like step 1, don't be a dick. Step 2, be awesome to everybody.
Right.
Step 3, see step 1 and 2.
Bingo.
So Matt yelled at us before the show because neither Landon or I knew what this was.
I was just super surprised. Like, I was just blown away that you guys had no idea.
But there's an article on TechCrunch.com, and it says Apple and Steven Spielberg are reportedly rebooting Amazing Stories.
Reimagining.
And
I would like to hope it's reimagining.
Well, it sounds like you said it's like an anthology series, kind of like Twilight Zone.
It's just all over the place.
So you don't really have to reboot or reimagine. You just restart it for that sort of thing, I guess.
I will think that they will do the same stories and they'll just update them. I would reimagine that they would do some of their bigger hits off of it before they started doing newer ones.
I don't know, man. It could be all new stuff.
But I've noticed this is this kind of goes into something I saw that's going to be on Amazon Prime and Black Mirror and a lot of these other ones that are anthology. This is the thing to do now with these type of shows. Mm-hmm. Amazon Prime's got one coming out called Electric Dreams that is another Philip K. Dick book. Mm-hmm. And it's just like a whole bunch of his short stories that they're turning into kind of an anthology series. And it's really weird. If you guys ever see the trailer, it's freaking out there. But Amazing Stories is supposed to be like a happier Twilight Zone. That's the way I take it anyway. I don't really know how to describe it other than that. But the old Amazing Stories are really good. I thought they were fun. And I can give you a quick preview of maybe one of them. Basically, this boy him and his grandpa His grandpa lives with him and his mom and dad at this house out in the middle of this field. The grandpa talks about train tracks and that the train's coming for him and this, that, and the other. And everybody, the family thinks he's crazy. And he's like, no, I've got my ticket here. I should have got on that train, so many years ago. And this same train used to run through here. It crashed. Everybody died. And he wasn't on it as a young boy. Mm. So at the end of the show, like the house is rattling. All of a sudden, this train comes blasting through this house.
The Coors Light train?
Yeah. We live in fear of it.
He cracked open a cold one, and it cost him his life.
That's right. He cracked it open way back when. And he's like, I should have gotten that silver bullet, but I didn't.
The silver bullet's like, not so fast, my friend.
I got you. But yeah, he gets his ticket punched, kind of in the saying as it is, and gets on the train and leaves. And like the kid's like, oh, see you later, Grandpa, and there's like all these clues that the train's coming. Like he was listening to the tracks and you could hear it. It's craziness, but it's that same type of Twilight Zone. What world do we live in? Evidently in fear of the Coors Light train in this one, but
constantly. I live in daily fear of it.
God, that would be such a great skit. Just like somebody's like getting a beer out of the fridge. No! And they crack it open. And this train just bellows through the apartment.
Yeah, I'm sure Coors Light would love that.
Oh, yeah.
The skit would go viral, but then everybody would just assume if you buy Coors Light, a train is going to find you and kill you and everyone you love.
But it's such a refreshing tragedy. It really is.
Sci-Fi presents Coors Light train.
Well, this reboot or reimagining or restart, whatever you want to call it, is going to be on the Apple streaming platform.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be on any network or a channel that you'd be able to watch.
Not taking any risks.
Yeah. So, and apparently, this
channels that you watch.
It's not going to be on any channel you watch.
I know you didn't mean it like that. You were just like, not anything you're going to watch.
Yeah. Well, and I will say, Apple, it's saying that this is like Apple's really trying to push into this scripted program space, like what Netflix and Hulu and Amazon Prime have been doing.
Why wouldn't they?
So this is kind of going to be their first really big thing. It's going to have a budget of $5 million per episode. God, it's hard to imagine.
Wow.
Does anybody know what the Game of Thrones budget is per episode?
It's huge.
Way more than $5 million.
Yeah, it's huge. It's huge.
It's huge.
It's the biggest budget, best show.
That's the greatest dragons. They're real. I've seen them. I petted them. They're beautiful dragons. They're beasts. They fly in the air.
Man, he has got it down.
He does.
He's got it down.
It's really good. But apparently Apple, like the original content they've had in the past hasn't been quite so good. It was Carpool Karaoke and Planet of the Apps. And I have no idea what Planet of the Apps is. I'm somewhat familiar with Carpool Karaoke. But
Carpool Karaoke gets a lot of like YouTube viewership, I've noticed.
Mm-hmm.
I see it all over social media, like people posting videos and stuff like that. So.
Mm-hmm. So they're really trying to use Steven Spielberg to kind of like push them into something successful for their original content.
I would watch. I'm not going to get Apple TV. That's not happening ever. But if there was another venue that I could view this, I would watch it.
Yeah, maybe wait till it comes out because you can get the Blu-rays.
The Blu-rays.
Get the laser disc on those.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Whatever that PSP one is.
And speaking of streaming services, we talked last week about Netflix upping their price. Right after that news came out, Hulu announced that they are dropping their price. 3 weeks ahead of the season 2 premiere of Stranger Things, Netflix announced it was raising its subscription plan from $9.99 to $10.99, and the 4K from $11.99 to $13.99.
4K.
Yeah.
4K, my friend.
But according to the article, until January 9th, subscribers can sign up for the entry-level plan of $5.99 a month for the first year. That's down from $7.99, and the commercial-free plan remains at $11.99. So if you want commercial-free, it's staying at $11.99, but $2 less for the entry-level plan, which is actually, that's what I use, because I can deal with commercials. What it does,
That's
too...
when you make your sandwiches.
Yeah, I don't mind it. It is kind of a nice break every now and then. But also, if you watch a show long enough, the commercials will stop.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
With a long enough viewing session, on certain shows, the commercials stop. And some shows, it feels like they never have commercials. It really depends on what you're watching. So that's kind of interesting.
I watched Supernatural, and I tried to watch it on their app, on the CW app. Don't ever do that.
Is it just nonstop commercials?
It's every 15 minutes,
I've
and
noticed
they are 5 minutes long.
I've noticed that with the FXX app. We were watching Baskets, that Zach Galifianakis show. It's like commercials every couple of minutes, and they're forever long. It's like watching old school MTV.
Oh, and it wouldn't eat me alive so much if it wasn't the same 2 commercials in a
Yeah.
loop.
Oh,
Yeah.
Kill me. I'm not buying a jitterbug.
Staying with the FXX app, Simpsons World. Also, you see tons of commercials. So you can recreate the entire experience of watching that one episode from season 5 because you have to sit through the commercials.
Yeah. It's very frustrating. Like it's overkill for sure. Like I don't know why some apps are worse about that. Hulu's are manageable, and like I said, sometimes they go away. So
And good on Hulu because I mean, the more we go to a streaming only, that's the way we intake our entertainment. Netflix is still going to be that name forefront or the most forefront in everybody's mind. But I mean, good on Hulu. They're coming in right after Netflix announces they're going up. Oh, by the way, guys, we got a lot of the same content for way cheaper.
and we're going down. Going down.
Is that Aerosmith?
Yeah, Aerosmith.
Oh, I thought it was
Love in an
David S.
elevator.
Pumpkins thing.
David S. Pumpkins.
Any
Stay with
questions?
Halloween.
Any questions? Kind of a personal story. My wife has bought my daughter numerous outfits with pumpkins on it, and all I can call her is David S. Pumpkins. And every time she wakes up to be to eat or to be redressed in her diaper, I always go, "I need to eat. Any questions?" And I say it real loud in the baby monitor. So
Well, I approve.
you shouldn't. It's fun.
I approve of that activity. Well, that's going to wrap up our Twitter review for the day. I think we're a little short on time, and we covered a lot of stuff here. If you guys want to see all the articles that we've liked, commented on, retweeted, whatever it may be, you can go to our Twitter account at nerd_news_cafe, and you'll see not only the things we spoke about, but even more.
Even more.
Even more. Sometimes silly random comments. There have been times where I thought I was tweeting on my personal Twitter, and
That
I've
is always
used the Nerd News Cafe Twitter. So you might get those too.
That is always fun. I have done that myself.
Yep, that happens from time to time.
And it is where we post our poll from Thursday, so you guys can go there, vote on our poll. Every week we've got a new poll. If you want to find out how this last poll turned out, you could go look at Twitter, but why don't you listen to our Thursday show, and we'll talk all about it, my friends.
Yep.
So come back Thursday for Stir It Up. But there's other places you can find us on the web. You can find us on Facebook. You can find us on our website, nerdnewscafe.com, and you can email us, nerdnewscafe@gmail.com. We're on YouTube as well, if you like to use the US of Tubis, as Matt called it last
The
week.
use of who's.
And we've got a forum where you can go and rant and rave or do whatever it is you do.
And post your pornography.
Post your pornography.
I want to apologize for a Facebook post through our page. I was trying to figure out how to make a link to the forums to make it easier for people to do it. And I Googled it several times, and there was a lot of that HTML talk. And I was like, okay, I'll just copy and paste a lot of this stuff. And there was even a WikiHow on how you could make a little link on there. I think I posted our episode about 4 times before I gave up and then went into the edit and said, screw it, just go to the forums. It was awful. Every time it was like, ampersand, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this is awful. Why won't it do it?
Yeah,
So,
that stuff can be tricky.
fail.
That's what you get for trying, Matt.
I
Never
know. I know. Stay
Lesson
in my
learned.
lane. That's what I need to do.
We are
try.
not
Nothing
wizards,
good comes of hustling.
wizards of HTML.
Not me.
No. But it is
I'll
out
watch
there.
that show,
You
though.
guys can get to the forum since Matt didn't help you with an easy link. It's easy to get to anyway. Just go to the website, our Nerd News Cafe website. Scroll down at the bottom. There's big letters that say gold letters. Visit forum. If you click on that, it is a link, And if you know how the web works, it will take you to the page.
If you don't know how the web works, it'll still take you there.
It will take. Yeah, it's true. You don't have to have the knowledge for it to work.
Better question: if you don't know how the internet works, how the hell did you get to our Facebook?
Contrary to popular belief, you don't have to know how the web works in order for it to work for you. It will work anyway.
Yeah, it will work.
Yeah,
always.
You can click around and surf with absolutely no knowledge.
Do we still surf?
People surf. I surf. You
surf?
surf. They're surfing. Surfing happens.
I peruse.
And Jerry Seinfeld impressions still happen too.
Nice.
Matt, what have you got to plug today?
I was going to say, if you guys are still interested in Star Trek Discovery, because I am, and so is Thomas, we are still doing Tracking Trek podcast, where we follow the voyages of Star Trek Discovery and all the craziness that they have decided to turn this show into. If you'd like to know what that means or how we feel about it, you can follow us at Tracking Trek Pod on Twitter and get some random updates about the show, or you can actually listen to the show and hear what we have to say and watch it yourself.
Boom.
Boom.
Beam me up.
They don't say that.
Oh, okay.
No, they actually did say it.
Landon?
Twitter.com/LandozLandOZ. That is where you can find the latest musings from me in a 140-character limit. Also have a website, buttmunchchips.com. Buttmunchchips.
Sit on your butt.
And munch.
There we go. That's where I post my latest podcast. I do have a Game of Thrones recap show with my buddy Hunter East. We are in somewhat of a hiatus because we don't know when Game of Thrones is coming back, nor does HBO. So in the meantime, we have what we like to call the Butt Munch Chips Variety Pack. That is where I and people, particularly Hunter in this one episode, just sit down and talk about whatever. The latest conversation we have is about video games, how we've got here, and where we'd like to go in the future. But again, that is posted exclusively at buttmunchchips.com. And remember, Butt Munch Chips.
Sit on your butt.
And munch.
It's a Halloween plug right there.
It was.
Apparently.
It was a good one. It was kind of monster mashy. All right, guys. Well, that plugs everything we've got going on outside of the Nerd News Cafe universe. You've heard where you can find things that are related directly to the Nerd News Cafe universe. And if you want more of this, I recommend you come back Thursday because we're going to have a spooky episode of Nerd News Cafe started up. We're going to be talking in spooky voices the whole time.
I hope you like hearing this.
I might go Dracula. Come back and find out. And until then.
Transmission. Any questions?